brings new issues, it brings new challenges. There's just so many going on, not only here, but all around this country and around this world. And Father, we just ask that you would meet the need that is required in each and every one of these situations that we've lifted up separately. And for all those that have not been mentioned this morning, they're on our hearts, even though they may not have been spoken. We give those to you as well this morning, and we thank you for being with us. We thank you for this time to fellowship and enjoy each other's company and have this opportunity to present these prayers to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, Cress, you're up. Oh, announcements. I'm so sorry. One more second. Announcements. We have an announcement from Ed, and I know what it is. Go ahead. We got problems with the green one.
Okay.
There you go.
Just wanted to let everybody know, we were planning to do a work day for the congregation on January 30th to get our flower beds in good shape for the spring. We'll be primarily spreading about 400 bales of pine needles all around the building and across the front of the property. So anybody that's going to be available on the 30th of January, we could use the help. We'd like to get a big turnout. It'll only take a couple hours if we get enough people out here. A couple days before that, we'll be unloading all of the pine needle bales. So I could use 4 or 5 guys to help unload those bales and distribute them around the property. So we're ready for Thursday morning. So we're going to start that at 9 o'clock on Thursday, January 30th. Any of you that are available for that, we could use your help. And this is open for everybody, not just the men, wives. It's not heavy work, but it's a little bit tedious, but it'll go fast if we have enough people.
Ed, what day you got the bales coming in? Do you need help getting them on?
Not 100% sure. Probably Tuesday to 28th. But,
okay. Well, keep us posted as we get closer, if you would. Okay. Jim?
Thanks. I just have a quick opportunity for all of us here. This is a great thing on Wednesdays, right?
Yeah.
So this last weekend, we started something that happens every year. I think we were, I just was trying to look up the numbers. I don't remember, but I think we're about 750 to moving towards 800 in worship. In the next 3 weeks, every year, the first 3 weeks of January, we rise every week. If we go statistically with what we've been doing, we're going to be getting close to 950 to 1,000 people coming here for worship by the end of January. Which means we're going to have 400 to 500 men here. And this last weekend, Lloyd and I were comparing notes after Sunday, and both of us met probably anywhere from 15 to 20 new people, most of them couples. And so I want to encourage, you can announce stuff till you're blue in the face, but people respond to a personal invitation. So I want to encourage all of you guys this weekend, the next couple weeks, every week, go up to 2 or 3 guys, start a conversation, invite them to the Wednesday morning men's breakfast. And that's, for most guys, most of us here, that's how we got here. Somebody invited us. So go invite a guy, bring them here. And because our guys need this. We need this. I need this every week. So good job, guys.
Okay, great idea. Any other announcements? Okay, now, Chris, you're up.
Okay, good morning. Thank you very much. Let's see. Okay, there you go, radio flying. So a few weeks ago, my compadre in the RC world, Bob Smith, talked to you about the fun stuff. As an FAA volunteer, I'm going to maybe talk a little fun, but a lot of rules, because there's a lot of questions. And before we even start, the New Jersey thing is just a smokescreen. Okay, sorry. 20 years in the service and a handful of years flying drones. yes, they do know who it is. Yes, they're doing it on purpose. And no, it's not a freaking conspiracy theory that we're all about to be invaded. Okay? Just doesn't happen that way. Okay, so I got that out of the way. Radio flying, if you, yeah, it's up there. No. Okay, it was up there on the screen. There it is. Hopefully that'll stay for a minute so you can actually see that. So these are the kind of drones. They're small. Mine is a medium size. They're making them a lot smaller these days. What I want to point out is the controller there at the bottom. That's how we control our drones, kind of like Bob showed you for airplanes. And you can see the guy, there's a picture on it. I got the download from the drone camera, goes right to my device so I can see what the drone sees and point it. If you've been, shameless plug for Coleman Oaks thrift store, if you've been watching the video updates out there, how many people like those? Okay, I did those. Okay. So for those of you that were on the fence, one of my other folks from the drone club, Sue Knutson, shot the first video that you see with the heavy equipment. She shot that one. And if you didn't like it, she shot all of them. That's fine. Okay, there you go. Let me see here if I can. There it is. Okay, so most modern drones got one or more cameras. Optical, infrared, thermal. That begins to get very expensive. Your local police and fire department and EMS and emergency services folks are the folks that are paying for those. As a side note, sort of a side note, Sumter County Sheriff had to table, had to put away, couldn't use anymore, about $150,000 worth of drone equipment when Governor DeSantis said, oh, we're not going to fly Chinese-made drones. You can't use those if you're in the government. $150,000 down the drain right now today to buy a product that was not as good and spend a whole bunch more money. I don't know exactly how much they ended up spending, how much they've redone. So let me ask this question. My drone, my little camera, you've seen the pictures from Coleman Oaks. You can see what I can do. I'm about, from here to the back wall from my drone. And some of us have seen pictures from the Hubble telescope and views from space. How many of you think that my drone is the best spy device ever created and our national security is in danger because guys like me flying drones? Okay, I didn't see any hands. Yeah. Clearly, I have a bone to pick with some of the folks that are trying to say, oh, we shouldn't use Chinese drones. It's a threat to our national security. Let me ask this question. How many of you have one of these in your pocket? Where was it made? Yeah, China. Okay, there you go. Okay, so, wow. Man, it's beginning to sound like a political ad, isn't it? Okay, we use the drones for video production. Unlike the airplanes, it's a little bit easier. You probably saw me here earlier, just put the drone up a little bit. I wanted to shoot just a little bit of video for the men's breakfast. As it turns out, one of the rules, and I'm getting ready to say one of the rules, no fly over people. These bad boys spin at several thousand RPM per minute, and there's 4 of them, most gyrocopter-type drones. All you got to do is do a little YouTube search, and you'll see people cut up and smashed up, and their noses and their faces are, that's a dangerous tool right there, okay? I may not be able to be a spy, but I can cut you, okay? Or myself. That's the thing. People keep cutting up themselves. So one of the basic rules that they put in place early on, this one's killing me. I'm not going to use this. is no fly over people. It's illegal. Drones must remain within visual line of sight, okay? I have to be able to see it. That's a pretty small drone. It's not one of the larger ones. Guys like Dave Hernovich are flying minis, the Mini 3, 4, 2. They're even smaller than that. You're required by law to keep it within visual sight. And we're not supposed to fly over 400 feet AGL, above ground level, sorry, for those of you that are not aviation savvy, AGL, above ground level, so 400 feet. People ask me, well, where did they come up with that rule? Well, I'm an airplane driver too. I'm not really, unless I'm taking off or landing, I'm usually supposed to stay above 500 feet AGL, okay? I'm considered hazardous and reckless if I fly the airplane below 500 feet AGL without a really good reason, like taking off or landing. And drones are supposed to stay 400. That should give us 100 feet of separation. That'd be a really good deal. Drones? Yeah, I can fly inside the building. Not above 400 feet, but I can fly in the building. Yeah, I flew it in here. Yeah, there's a bunch of other rules, and there's some exceptions that happen. So while I'm on this rule thing, I'm governed, oops, let's turn it over and show you that page. I'm governed by the FAA. All the airspace from, I don't know if you can see my hand, it's not really touching the ground. From there to space is controlled by the FAA, okay? All of it. It all belongs to the FAA. It doesn't belong to anybody else. It doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to the city of Wildwood. It doesn't belong to the state of Florida. It doesn't belong to the well, it sort of belongs to the United States in the form of it belongs to the FAA. They set the rules and regulations. Let me do another slide so we can get through this. So let's do recreational versus commercial operations. I'm a commercial operator, okay? Recreational flying is purely for personal enjoyment. Just for you and your family, that's what you can do recreationally, okay? It requires, even though you're a recreational flyer, it requires an FAA trust exam, okay? It's hardly an exam. You go to the web, you go to any of the folks that provide the test, free of charge, don't pay for it. Those of you that are thinking about getting drones or already have drones or got drones for Christmas, don't pay for the trust exam, it's free, okay? If you Google it and some company says, hey, we'll let you take the trust exam for $50, run the other direction, or, you know, click escape, because you don't have to pay for it. But it's really not bad. It's more of a training exercise. And by the way, oh, you can't fail it. You just keep taking it over and over again until you get all the questions right, and then you get your certificate. Okay, so not too tough. It's even easier than a driver's license, because you can fail a driver's license test and have to come, mess with it again. Might require registration and or remote ID. We talked about that a little bit, remote identification. It's an FAA, it's a government regulation, a government entity. Therefore, it depends. There's no black and white to this, okay? It depends. Weight is one of the big things. My drone weighs over 250 grams. It has to be registered. My drone weighs over 250 grams. It has to have remote ID. I'm a commercial operator. My drone has to be registered, okay? If you're a recreational flyer and you can keep it below 250 grams, David with his Mini 3 and his Mini SE, those are should be registered, okay? Should, not. It depends. We're back to that. It depends, how the government feels about it. Don't require registration. Remote ID is a thing that's coming for almost everybody. The reason guys like Bob and the airplane driver community can get away with it. I don't know how many were here. If you remember the FRIA, it's a siphoned off geo-fenced area that the FAA says, okay, we're going to put you guys in here, and you stay in here, and you don't have to have remote ID. Oh, remote ID. Let me talk about that just a second, because I know the New Jersey thing comes up. It's required. Okay, there could be people that break the law. But it allows guys like you and me to pull out my phone and go, who's flying drones around me right now? If I can see it, I can get the signal, and I can see who it is. That's been a very touchy subject. A lot of our drone club members are ladies, and sometimes all of us fly solo without anybody else around. We're on vacation or whatever. The remote ID not only tells you where the drone is, oh, I can see it, okay, great, I got that. It also tells you where that control station is. Oh, I'm a lady, I'm flying a drone by myself, there's no one else around, and Bubba decides, wow, somebody's flying a drone in my neighborhood, I think I'll go mess with them. We are not happy in the drone community about that particular part of the rule for our own safety. And there's not really a fix to that, at least not right now. Last point on recreational flying, no compensation for any entity involved. I said it was for your personal enjoyment. You're certainly welcome to it. How many people have posted a phone video or a message traffic or something on Facebook ever? Great. You all are good. As soon as I post a drone video as a recreational flyer, I'm in violation of FAA regulations and subject to a fine and having my drone taken away from me. That's not recreational. And you're going to say, but Cress, I didn't get any money for it. And I'm going to say, but Cress, somebody did, like Facebook or YouTube or whoever. It doesn't matter. Oh, we had this situation after the hurricane. I got up, put my drone up, took pictures of my roof to see if I had roof damage. I've got neighbors. As it turns out, most of them know I fly drones. Hey, would you take a picture of my roof and check mine out? Sure, I'll do that. Oh, I'm a commercial drone operator. I can do that. Bob next door says, I'll buy you a beer. We'll have a couple of beers and some brats, and you'll take video of my roof, and life will be good. And I go, oh, that's compensation. As soon as you give me a beer, I just got paid for it. I got to be a commercial operator, not a recreational operator. As soon as I post to YouTube or Facebook, that's a commercial operation even if I don't receive a dime or a nickel or a penny, okay? That would require a commercial operator permit. So commercial is everything else. Requires a 14 CFR Code of Federal Regulations. It'd be a library. If you put it all in books, it'd be a library that'd fill this room, okay, on everything aviation. That's Part 14 of the CFRs. Part 107 is this certificate I'm wearing, my FAA certificate that says I'm a remote pilot of small UASs, unmanned aerial systems. Before you go all politically correct on me, they're trying to change it to not unmanned, but unsomething, so that it'll be politically correct, because unpersoned, yikes. Anyway, unmanned aerial systems is the drone and the controller and whatever other stuff. For instance, one of the things they use drones for commercially is agriculture, okay? Big business, ag, big drones. An ag drone is bigger than this table here in front of me once its wingspan is out and everything's going, okay? It's a big deal. That's a Part 107 commercial operator. For those of you that are wondering about FedEx and UPS, Walmart, Costco, those guys that want to deliver packages remotely, you go, wait a minute, he said you had to remain within visual line of sight. I can't see Walmart from my house. They're going to fall under Part 135, which is an airplane part as well, and they're going to have a special license and registration and stuff that's going to go along with that so that they're able to operate legally within the FAA system. So they're not really commercial operators. There's multiple levels, just like airplane flyers have multiple levels of certification. There's going to be multiple levels of drone certification, easy for you to say. The air taxi stuff within a drone without a pilot, that's going to be a different part that's going to have to be looked at. All of us commercial operators got to be registered and have remote ID. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. We just got to. It's on my drone. You can't see it, but my FAA registration, my name and telephone number's on there. That's not really required, but if my drone goes somewhere that I don't want it to be and I lose it, I would like to get it back. It wasn't cheap, okay? So I'd like to get it back, but my FAA registration has to be on the drone just like an airplane would. Compensation is okay, and again, it doesn't have to be money. You can pay me with dinner at Chop House. That'd be great. I'll come take pictures of your roof, and you'll be good. I can do the Coleman Oak stuff. That I don't get paid for that. But because you all get to use it and see it, and the church gets the advertising, if you will. I don't know exactly what that would be worth, but it would be in the eyes of the government. That would be worth something. As a result, I got to be a commercial operator to take those drone pictures. Sue is a commercial drone operator too, so she's all good. Okay, FAA owns all the airspace. I mentioned that. There are places where remote flying is unlawful and may result in fines, confiscation of equipment, or both. Just recently, there was a ruling in Arizona. A real estate guy was taking pictures of the real estate that he had for sale and posting them to his website, and that was helping him sell. He ended up with a $250,000 fine because he was guilty on multiple accounts because he took more than one video. Each time he took a video, they tacked on another fine, okay? $250,000. I don't know about you, but that's not chump change to me. I would be hurting bad if they said, hey, we're going to fine you $250K for taking drone video and running your show. So, got to be careful. I'm gonna wish I hadn't. I am gonna open it up for questions here in a minute, but I do want to show you. Sometimes I said drone videos happen, so I'm going to give you some drone video. I produced this for Florida conference of the UMC for ERTs. So before any of our folks get up on the roof, I can do some close-in photography so that they can have a good look before they ever set foot on the roof, if they're going out to tarp or do repairs when we're out on a call out. Fortunately, that roof's in pretty good shape. So we got the before, here's the after shot after we do our work. Some serious improvement there, huh? Yeah, that's me. 20 some odd years of being an Air Force guy. You get a few names. Hey, you might recognize that name as well. Rick Elliott, big thanks to him. He provided the music for me for that video. Anyway, that's what I provided for the Florida conference, telling them what we could do, telling them what I could do. They probably got some more drone operators in Florida. I want to be conscientious of your time and my time. I'm going to stick around for a few minutes. I do have another appointment that I got to go to later on, so not too long. But the formal part of that presentation is over. I'm not going to be embarrassed. I've been a teacher long enough to know that people get up and go to another class or do something else, so if you need to leave, please feel free. But I'll entertain some questions at this time. Yes, sir. It depends. Yeah, I'll repeat the question. The question was for Amazon and FedEx and those guys that are going to try to deliver packages. How big are the drones, and what kind of load carrying capacity do they have? Okay. That ag drone that I talked about, that's the body of it would probably go from chair to chair, but the wingspan would be 12 or 15 feet across. Those ag drones, when they put the spray or feed or whatever on them, can carry up to around 150 pounds, 200 pounds. Yeah, it's pretty serious. They're pretty big drones. I would expect that a package delivery, like CVS, who wants to deliver your meds, they'd use something between those two, and it's probably out drop one off, come back, get the next one. Being able to do multiple package drops in one trip, I'm not aware of a drone that can do that yet, but I'm sure they're going to work on it. So that's kind of where you are. Size is, if you get a big drone, you can carry more stuff. Yeah, so that's interesting. We're talking about the Orlando show, the drone show, and the drones came out of the sky and fell into the crowd. Like I said, it depends. That drone operator operates multiple shows a year, and they get special permission from the FAA, and have shown that usually it's totally safe. I suspect that where the drone show was basically like where I am, and this is where the drones are going to be doing their thing. And when there's a couple of things that could have happened. They could have had a control problem. They could have had too high a wind that caused a drone to get off its pre-programmed location and hit another drone, because they fly close together. Those drone shows, two of us are here droning. If I get blown off course, it's easy for me to hit him and cause a cascading effect. I don't know that that's what happened. We'll find out in a year or two. But once that drone goes off course, now it's out here over people, and that's how that happens. Had the program gone as planned, the drone would never have been over the child. And as I said, with them spinning things going 4,000 RPM a minute, they're just like spinning switchblades. Okay. All right. Like 15 minutes. Big drones, big batteries. Yeah. Often. Yeah. Yes, sir. When I shoot video, I can do about 15 minutes. David has a Mini. He can shoot video, not the whole time, but he can probably 20, 25 minutes. That's about it. I own 3. Yeah. 3 batteries. Gold Wingnut, who you heard mentioned earlier, he has multiple drones, but it's not unusual for him to do 4 or 5 batteries and recharge them when he's out working a project. Yeah. Drone right now, drone capability to go long term doesn't, except for military drones. They take them off from Robins Air Force Base in Georgia, in Middle Georgia, in Macon, and fly them halfway across the world. Different drone, different technology. Go ahead. Some of them do. Not all. Not. That's one of the things that sets. Okay, my drone is made by a company called DJI, and the DJI drones are head and shoulders above anything that's made in the United States. Sorry, fellas, but some drones have capability to return to home if they get lost. Even if there is a serious problem, there's a possibility that my drone will fly away, and I'll have a flyaway, which I'll have to report to the FAA, and it could go off on its own without returning to home. Yeah, my drone's smart enough to go, hey, I'm about out of battery life. I know where my home plate is because I update it every time I fly, and it says, if I don't go home right now, I'll run out of battery life and fall out of the sky. So it says, I don't care that you want to shoot video of that cool thing. I'm coming home. So, yeah, modern drones do that. In fact, I didn't do it, but if I take my drone off and put it up in the air, and I go, gosh, what do I want to do next? Just take my hands away from the joysticks, which controls up, down, left, right, round, and round. Just take my hands off the sticks and it'll just sit there. It'll just hover till it's done, and then it'll come down. So it's unlike planes, it's very forgiving. I had a hand over here. Right. So you could. Here's the downside to that. Even if let's say you hired me and my crew and we had several drones. Okay, the question was, could you not put drones up to do security in the villages? You know, like the community watch drives around 2 or 3 times a day or whatever it is. Couldn't you do it with a drone a lot more efficiently? Yes. First answer is yes, you could do that a lot more efficiently. Could you do it cheaper? Yes, you could do it cheaper once the equipment's paid for. Here's the problem. The operator still has to keep it within visual line of sight. So it would take a lot of folks to do that. Not that it doesn't already take a lot of folks. I think the coverage would be better than you can do from driving in your car. But yeah, we could. It would be. One of the problems, one of the shortcomings of that would be, and I've had it over the last few days. Anybody notice it got windy the last couple of days? Did anybody not drive their car because it was too windy? No. Me, yeah, I didn't fly my drone. I put that small drone up in 25 knots, and no telling where it'll end up. So there are some weather concerns. But yeah, the answer is yeah, we could. A problem would be running through, for instance, Brownwood Square or Spanish Springs. Still can't fly over people. They're making some changes. There are some developments coming along down the path to provide a pathway to be able to do that. But right now, very few drones qualify for being able to fly over people. So there's some problems like that. David?
In answering your question, this is just something I've seen on video. You may have seen it as well, Cress, is the military or a company will go out and need to supply security surveillance like you just described. What DJI has is it has something that looks like a briefcase. They'll take the briefcase and they'll put it out in the field, and then they'll leave. And as they have a security breach, maybe a mile and a half away over there, that breach will notify that case. That case will open up, a drone will rise, and it will go check out the problem. And so if I'm looking at a 500-mile square that I want to surveil, I can set out cases like that. And what will happen is, as there's a problem, those drones will go up, check out the issue, provide the surveillance, then go back into the case, and then the case closes up on itself. The other thing they do is they bury those cases in the ground.
Yeah, and that's a different set of...
That's a whole different thing.
A whole different set of regulations than us guys. Oh,
yep.
I should mention, I talked about the trust exam was free. The Part 107 exam to make you a commercial operator, I think the current going price for that test right now is $150. And yes, if you fail it, it's another $150 to come back and take it again.
One last thing, because Cress has done a great job talking about the regulations, but the other side of the spectrum are guys like me that are just out doing their things with the drones. So one of the things that people do with their drones, and there's lots of different applications, but surf fishing on the edge of the beach with a long fishing pole where you cast your line out. Maybe on a good day, you might get it out 60 yards. What these guys will do is they'll take their fishing pole down, they'll take their bait, they'll attach it to the drone, and they'll fly their drone offshore. Remember, the drone has a camera on it. So that drone is flying around and it's looking for fish. And when it gets over the fish, it will release the bait down on the fish. When it releases the bait, the drone comes back automatically. The guy is there with his fishing pole, sets the hook, and reels the fish in. So there's all kinds of things that guys are doing with their drones to have fun with them. They're a lot of fun. Sorry, Chris.
Yes, sir. Another question here. Right now, you have to have an operator for, okay, the question was for the folks that are doing delivery, which is another step or level or two above what we do, what I do, what the drone club here in the villages does. Right now, there is not a option to pre-program, put it in a computer and send it out and make it go do that. The FAA has regulated it so carefully that they still require an operator and a crew, and it's mostly safety to make sure that things still happen. Yeah, they could pre-program it, and it would go do it. I mean, that technology exists. It's not legal yet. Yeah, yet. They're still testing it. Does that answer the, okay. Back here. Okay. Recreational. Okay. Maybe. Okay, so his question is, I just want to go have some fun. I want to go to Sam's Club, buy a drone, take it home and have fun. One of the questions that came out of that was, is somebody going to turn me in? Maybe. You have no idea which one of your neighbors or someplace you fly might have a bone to pick with drone flyers, because everybody knows we're all perverts and peeping toms. So, you know, it goes with the territory. That's all we do with our drones is spy on people. But anyway, that could happen. Recreational people. Trust exam, depending on the weight, probably registration and remote ID, which I didn't have to do anything to my drone. It came with remote ID, so it wasn't any big deal. I just said, yeah, activate it. And do only stuff for you, absolutely fine. No problem. Yes, you can. Nope. 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 Remember what I said at the beginning. It's for personal recreation only, for your personal use. Well, you can look at his roof all you want, but you don't share it with him. I don't care if you look at his swimming pool and his wife. Oh, wait, that's what we said. Yeah, okay, we're all peeping toms and perverts. Exactly right. Thanks very much. I think that's on.